Hello, this is Sealchan, and this is my Minecraft Infinity Evolved Progressive Let's Play. This is episode 2. It's going to cover round 2 of my progressive gameplay. Let's take a brief look around again as the music plays. Well, we got the short song again, so I'll go ahead and start things. First, I'm going to have an apple. Okay, so round 2. Well, first and foremost, the explorer came out of his camp here and took a look around. We looked at soil blocks, stone blocks, of which there's quite a variety here. We even have this patch of dirt isolated from other grass, coal, a number of blocks. But most importantly, and to aid our first important project, the explorer discovered 3 trees. The eucalyptus from Natura, hopseed again from Natura, and the oak, which is the vanilla tree we all know and love. And in each case, had the forester, whose job this time was to create some groves, which is the official name I give to a tree that is farmed. So the forester punched and replanted this oak tree here, right where it was originally, and the same went for this hopseed, although made a little bit of a change. So this hopseed was growing low to the ground here. It's a very unusual tree. It takes a single sapling, but it has about 8 blocks of wood for its trunk in a cube. And what I did was, after reading in the wiki about it, I built this kind of mound, planted the sapling on the northwest corner here, and is able to regrow. And it also kind of lifts it up off the ground in a way that I can get underneath it to access the wood blocks more directly. Now, the third tree was the eucalyptus. It was here, so I punched this thing down. These trees are very big. They supply a lot of wood. I believe I got, what did I get? 48 blocks of wood from one tree, as opposed to the hopseed tree or the oak tree. So very productive. I decided that in addition to replanting it here, I would plant it down in here. So let's take a look here for a second. That tree is so tall and big, it still kind of eclipses the scenery. So in designing this base area, one of the first things I realized is what drew me to this area was the scenery. And also, we are at Y level 81, so we're up there a little ways, 20 blocks more or less above sea level. It's not super high. We're below the snow line, but just a bit. So I gave some thought as to what I wanted this to look like. Now, this area, the base camp, is going to evolve into a shelter which will house raw material collections on its first floor, and on its second floor, basically a place to sleep. And I think sleep is probably a good idea here in a minute. Any case, so this is going to be something of a tower. It might have a third floor just for the view. Come on. There we go. So, with that in mind, I wanted to think about where I planted the trees, whether they would obscure my view, and there was probably a little bit of confusion on my part about whether I needed the view to be good from here, or maybe from a second or even third story. So I wanted to think about the planting of the trees. Now that oak tree was precisely where it was. It does not obscure the landscape. It's sitting on the edge of this bowl, which might be a good place to plant further trees. Could also be a good place to do some crop farming. Before I get a bucket, I'm going to restrict myself to farming where I can create farmland against water. So got a couple of options there. That's probably actually my best one at the moment. We have another one over this way, but so I wanted my trees to not obscure the landscape. I didn't take that one down, I took this one down. This one kind of is up so high you can see right through it. This one I tried planting in here and it grew up and out, and it kind of blocks this hillside, which isn't terrible. But anyway, just trying to think about how I might do this. Another aspect of this is that we are in extreme hills, and these eucalyptus trees are like some Natura trees. They grow in certain biomes, but sometimes I wonder why they grow where they're growing. Or in other words, although they're spawned natively in WorldGen, I wonder if they belong. Overall, this is a very sparse landscape, and as it's extreme mountains, you think of, kind of a wintry place. But again, this is kind of a bowl, so it could be this is sheltered, and it might allow certain trees to grow in this area, even though it's more of a colder location. So anyway, just some thoughts about all this, and it would take a let's see, it would take a third level of a tower to see over the top of that. So these are some of the thoughts I'm thinking as I'm just building these groves. Mostly a grove is a planting of a tree that fits in and around the other buildings that I'll be building here. So to start with, since I don't have other buildings, there's not really much for me to guide, and they're freely movable. So if I plant, if I planted a tree here and I later decided, oh, I want to build something right there, I'll just take this tree down, I'll move it somewhere else. It's convenient. And while I'm at it, why don't I show you this ravine? This is probably where I'm going to be building into. If I really just don't want to mar this landscape because of its natural scenic beauty, it's certainly an option here that I build a base that kind of frames itself on this ravine. That might be kind of cool. And we'll just leave the crop farms and such up here. As I collect trees, I'm going to need to put them somewhere. So maybe as I build up this tower, I'll feel better about planting a little forest in here, because then I'll still be able to see around the perimeter. So anyway, I thought I'd share with you those thoughts, because that's probably the main part of what I did during this round, other than what I just described. So the forester collected those 3 types of trees, and that was pretty much it. Very short round, as they are in the beginning in my progressive method. The researcher, without getting into too many details, did the usual routine, and explored the materials and how I might create farms to produce more of them, the naturally occurring raw materials surrounding me here. The most significant find, perhaps, was the Pam's Harvest Craft gardens, which in this older version of Minecraft is something that looks pretty cool. I haven't really played with, so I had to do some research trying to find one here. Oh yes, I recall. They're various gardens, and so they're just these single block plants. If I were to break one of those, it would drop a variety of fruits or vegetables. In this case, probably berries. There's an excellent wiki for Pam's Harvest Craft that explains everything very well. Oh, there's somebody on fire. Oh, and a baby zombie. Is that a baby, or is that just seems to be moving faster, I guess? Well, he's gonna try and get me. Was it worth that effort, you think? Yeah? No. Okay, well, maybe I'll pick up that rotten flesh. Anyway, I believe there's probably only 1 or 2 of these plants here earlier, and they automatically spread. They're kind of like mushrooms. They're probably modeled after mushrooms. But when you break them with a left click, boy, there's a lot of zombies, I tell you. I've got as many zombies in this video trying to get me on fire in the last minute as I have subscribers to my channel at this point. Yes, true fact. Alright, so they spread like mushrooms. If I sneak and right click, I can pick up that bush. And so my intent is probably to grab one of each of the 2 kinds of gardens I discovered, and in the next round formally place those somewhere up here. Decisions when you start. As soon as I start building, things get more clear. This is going to be a road here. This is 3 blocks wide. Goes right past this camp, and we'll go off in this way some way, and we'll go off probably down to that ravine over there, and probably this way. I don't have the materials yet that I want to use to build a road, but yeah, so in this first stages things are still pretty rough, and I have a lot of opportunity to sit and reflect. And where am I going to put the berry garden and the ground garden, which are the 2 that I've discovered? They can actually, like mushrooms, sit together in the same space, and they'll spread, and in spreading will spread until they reach a certain limit. But you can put different kinds of gardens, and they'll share that space and spread without interfering with each other's progress. So probably just one garden with 2 different of the 2 Pam's Harvest Craft garden types that I've discovered. And yeah, that and the trees will begin to start collecting resources on our own local farms. I can see way over there one of those awesome Natura berry bushes that I'll probably get around to in the next couple of rounds. Alright, so other than that, as far as the quests, the quests that are associated with this mod pack, excuse me. Let's take a look and open the book, show the quests. Now, in punching those trees, I did complete the You're Gonna Get Splinters quest. Did that with the eucalyptus wood right there. And I got my reward, which is a stone axe, which I'm sporting in my hotbar. Oh, it's getting dark. That's why I parked over here. Let's real quickly. So this opened up some new quests. Of course, that's how the quests work, like that. The other one, or two that I got, which was accidental, was the wheat. All you have to do is collect some seeds. That probably actually happened in round 1. And the water artichoke gourd quest, which is simply breaking grass, just like with the wheat seeds. And I got the perhaps slightly rarer drop of the water artichoke seed. So, let's see if I can sleep here. So those are the 3 quests that I achieved, and they all just came out of my natural progression, as most of these quests probably will. But I keep track of them to make sure that I focus on them and also let you know as I achieve those quests. Alright, so, let's see. I guess that's pretty much it. Don't need to belabor anything. This has again been Sealchan, and this was round 2 of my Infinity Evolved Progressive Let's Play. A slow start, but that's what a progression's all about. Small steps, building to something when you look back and you say, wow, I really achieved something. So I'm hoping to show and model that. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.